I'm Joanna Small, the Public Information Officer for the Commerce City Police Department. It's Monday, March 4th, and this is your weekend high or low lights, depending on how you look at it. It's essentially our video blotter where we give you a rundown of the most significant incidents your CCPD patrol officers responded to over the weekend. But we like to start off with a few fast facts. We answered 333 calls for service and made 76 traffic stops. Now, here are the highlights in chronological order. On Friday, March 1st, officers were called to the 15,000 block of East 121st Avenue, where they were provided video footage of what appeared to be juveniles shooting a handgun in the area. Officers recovered 2 shell casings on scene and later contacted 3 teens who admitted firing a handgun the night before. The gun was seized and the suspects are now facing charges of possession of a handgun by a juvenile and prohibited use of a weapon. That same shift of officers also responded to the 9300 block of East 105th Avenue for another shots fired call. The reporting party found a bullet fragment lodged in the front door of his home. The fragment was recovered on scene, but there were no other shell casings or bullet holes located. Now, we don't usually feature traffic stops here, but this driving behavior was so egregious we posted about it separately and are mentioning it again now. On Friday, one of our traffic officers stopped a driver traveling 121 miles per hour on Highway 2, where the speed limit's 45. That driver was ticketed for speeding and reckless driving, and frankly is lucky no one was hurt or killed. On Saturday, March 2nd, officers responded to a 911 call in which a man said he was in a vehicle with someone who had a gun heading towards the airport. He told dispatchers the vehicle had pulled over and he was actively being shot at. Officers who arrived on scene learned the caller was actually the suspect and had been fighting with the driver on the way to the airport, attempting to take the wheel of a private bus. There was no gun and no shots. The suspect was likely under the influence and is now facing false reporting and reckless endangerment charges. On Sunday, officers were called to the 7100 block of East 49th Avenue for reports that a man appeared to be overdosing in the restroom. When we arrived, we found him unresponsive while another person was attempting CPR. One of our officers administered Narcan and performed sternum rubs until paramedics arrived on scene. The man was transported to the hospital, breathing and alert. Well done. In the early morning hours of March 4th, officers responded to the 10,000 block of Racine Circle for a check of well-being on an individual who was the subject of an earlier call for service after he fell and hit his head inside a liquor store. He was intoxicated and had left the hospital while being treated for a head laceration with internal bleeding. His truck had been left at the liquor store, but when we arrived on scene, we discovered he had driven it home and was still sitting inside with the engine running. He was arrested for DUI and again transported to the hospital by ambulance. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. Have a safer week, Commerce City. And remember, if you need us, we are always just minutes away.